Hi, Kevin Blanch. I'm going to talk about why America is failing and why America is going down the tubes, and it has been for a while. I think the greatest metaphor, as art imitates man or man imitates art, I think the greatest piece of art that thumbprints what has happened in America in the last few decades. It's not a sculpture, it's not a painting, it's a brilliant, genius piece of art. Clint Eastwood movie Gran Torino. Granted, it's sensationalized, but doesn't that tell the tale? Doesn't Walt in that movie? Isn't he our fathers? Isn't he our uncles? Isn't he our neighbor? So true. It epitomizes everything. We got our manufacturing bases via NAFTA. From 1994 forward, you know, Clinton said it best when he said Gingrich, his contract on America. As we look back in 2044, 2054, 2034, 2024, as America crashes, that is the dagger that freaking stabbed us in the heart. We always had terrorists, from 1776 all the way forward. We had terrorists from freaking day one. Hamilton, Jefferson, Adams, Washington, they all debated this thing. They talked about the China thing then. And if you think it's flat in the world, bullshit. Chinese goods, they outnumber us. We cannot compete with slave labor. We cannot compete with children freaking working, with no freaking environmental protections. It all ties together. I'm a socioeconomist. It all ties together. Look, from 1940 to 1980, we had the strongest middle class in the history of the world. We had the richest society in the history of the world when the liberals ran this country. There are no liberals. Rove took care of that with his playbook. He turned freaking politics into religion. You think that the keystone of our Constitution was keeping separation between church and state? You don't think they know? And these were spiritual men. These were religious. These were dyers. These were very spiritual freaking men. What did Jefferson say? Organized religion is the root of all evil. You know, they knew. They fought. We have turned into everything we fought against. I say it's the return of King George. Because religion has infiltrated our politics. We have no liberals. We don't have a two-party system. Is a beautiful, magnificent system these geniuses come up. It can't work. It can't, because these people are radicalized. You can't have common sense arguments with them. You can't have anything, because it's like trying to argue with somebody about the religious, idealism. It's not going to work. You can't talk to these people. These people can't think past the length of their dick. You know, and when Reagan came in 1980 and took this thing over and started this no taxes, no tax, we had no debt. We were the richest society in the history of the world. Every single thing that has happened since has been nothing but destroy labor, destroy labor, destroy labor, destroy labor. I have a PhD in socioeconomics. I was mentored by two of the greatest economists of all time. I was mentored by them. The guy who developed the Fed, who started the Fed, mentored me as a boy. When they ran the Fed, he says it just like this: if FDR was a traitor to his class, what am I? You think that we got this powerful middle class where guys in our town was cutting meat. You could take every industry. There's Waltz in every industry that were destroyed. Right here was the meat cutting industry. Guys making $17, $18 an hour in the 70s. Well, one, they spend that money. It's called the multiple effect. Two, they pay a huge amount in taxes, the working class. So what does that do? We had great schools. Teachers make, because we had the money. We had great health care. Why did we have great health care? Because our labor forces were empowered, and if an employer didn't give you health care, you walk down the street to the next guy. We didn't have to have the government get involved in this, because the free marketplace did take care of it, but it wasn't purely free marketplace, because we regulated them, we made them. We're like, you know what? The Federal Reserve, this comes down to economics. We mandated. If you're an employer, you're paying overtime, you're paying time and a half. The Italian and the Irish stood up and they fought for this. They fought for this. The government mandated. The government was pseudo-socialist. We went to free marketplace in 1994 for the first time in the history of this country. For the first time in the history of this country. From 76 to 94, we had tariffs. We cannot compete with a freaking multi-billion labor force in Asia as they steal any technology we got and enslave their own people. They are communists. And they freaking are hard. We consume 25% of the world's products. Think about that. 25% of, we only make up 308 million people. There are 7 billion on Earth. Think about if we were still making the same things we consume. How rich would we be? If you didn't think NAFTA is the dagger, it is the dagger. And that is that science fiction economics, Alan Greenspan bullshit that created this. It didn't happen until 94. This is about philosophy. There are no liberals. The only last liberal that was, Howard Dean was a pure, strong liberal. I loved him. I watched an interview with his wife. She says, Yeah, for my birthday, she says, I told him I just wanted to go on a bike ride. I'm like, wow, what a beautiful mentality they are. That's the only story. We don't have any fucking liberals. You think Barack Obama's a liberal, you're crazy. We have pure, religious, fanatic conservatives running the entire show. The last liberal we had was John Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy, who was killed freaking 1968 on this day. We think about this glorious freaking day, June 6th, in the annals and the history of all America. Many historians say the greatest day ever, the greatest secret mission. My uncle who raised me was on that mission. D-Day, June 6, 1944. It created all this power. The greatest secret mission of all time. Then, the next, same day, a stall mucker from Santa Anita, a crazed alcoholic maniac, murders the great, last, strong progressive, Bobby Kennedy. That was the day that changed this country. That's the day the strong liberal died. When he killed Bobby Kennedy, that's the day that the strong liberal was over. We do not have two-party politics in this country. That system does work. We have one party, radical conservative, religious radical conservatives. That's what we have. Harry Reid from right here, who runs it over here, is as hardcore conservative radical Mormon as they get. They all are. The only freaking liberal in Congress that has that freaking brain is Bernie Sanders. He calls himself an independent. There's the problem with America. It is the contemporarized masses. I say it like this. I was at Home Depot the other day tinting up some paint. The girl does this for a living. She's 25. It says tinted to 3/4 strength. And she's like, I could see she was confused. And I'm like, wow. She doesn't know a 3/4. So I pulled 4 quarters out of my pocket. And I says, here, 3. I separate. She says, why didn't any of my teachers ever do that? Well, when I teach, I have to, and I teach an MBA program. My first lecture, I break down the 3 branches of government. I used to call the 4 branches of the media, but they're not 4th anymore. Because the basics, these people are so pseudo and algebra and whatever, they don't know them. Now, is it she's stupid or these people? No, she's not stupid. Did society fail her? Hell yes. Did our education, and it comes down to economics. We don't have a good job base that are paying taxes to consume anything. We don't have any money to pay freaking teachers. We don't have any freaking money to have people working 40 hours a week, one person wife freaking the other person's raising the children and being happy. Like we had. The strongest society in the history of the world is when the liberals ran this show, and that's a fact. From 1940 to 1980, the strongest middle class in world history, this wealthiest society in world history, the liberals ran it. When Reagan took over, everything that's gone on since has been nothing but destroy labor. Nothing but destroy labor. That's all it's been, every single move. And we do not have progressives, and we do not have liberals. We are radical, religious, contemporized, freaking one party. The Republicans are the Democrats, and the Democrats are the Republicans. They're radical, religious radicals. You asked for it, you got it.